Okay, so A Quiet Place. Oh god, what did it say again? A Quiet Place, the beginning, the origin, the prequel, right? The Quiet Place prequel movie. Right off the bat, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It has a touching moment, right? When she goes back to the bar, either the bar or the pizzeria, one of the two. It's probably the bar, because the pizzeria was like burnt out to a crisp, sadly. But and it's nice that Eric had the idea. Well, where did your dad play? Okay, because if we can't go to past these, then we just have to go to where he played piano. He said he was really good at playing piano. Sorry about that. Yawn there, but and they do that, right? They go to where he played piano, and they have a really touching moment there. He says, I'll be right back, and he finds a pizza for her somewhere, somehow. He finds a pizza, he presents that pizza to her. He also he does like a card trick. Like he really when she wrote that message in the jacket, about, hey, thank you for letting me live, making me, letting me see the joy in life again. Because she's cynical in the beginning, right? She says like shit. She says like the nurse guy. I guess she's been there for a while, so her and the nurse guy are close, right? He says, you're like, I'm close to you because you've been in hospice for a while, I guess, and so it's sad when that guy died, and his death was kind of like, why even bother turning the generator off? Why not just leave it run, like let it run? Because we know that the monsters, they're gonna destroy machines that make noise. They destroy cars that make noise. So why would they not do it with the oh my god, what do you call? Why would they not just do it with the generator? The generator's just there making noise. Why would they not just walk up to it and destroy it? And so it was like, him turning it off. I guess it just felt unnecessary. But then I thought to myself, maybe it was instinctual. He knows, like, oh, there's noise being made. These things are gonna show up. So let me not avoid that. I would have wanted to have gotten away from the generator machine as soon as I turned it off too. He kind of like stands back. He feels happy, like, okay, yeah, good. We did solve the problem. But then his shirt rips. This movie is funny. Like there's times where people make the slightest noise. These monsters show up, and then other times where people make a fair bit of noise, right? Like maybe you're like, well, that's quite audible. That's quite audible. You dropping that item, you opening this. And these monster things, these alien monster things, they don't show up, right? There is times where like the helicopters, or the airplanes, something will fly overhead, and how you call the monster animal things, whatever, they'll like what do you call they'll follow the noise. They'll follow the source of that noise. So maybe there's none in the vicinity at the area. Like when there's a bunch of people walking out in the street, and she's going against the crowd. So she's going, everybody's walking one direction, and she's going against the crowd. You just knew, like, somebody somewhere it's gonna. And there's a guy dragging somebody's dragging a fucking suitcase. So they show a close up of this person in a wheelchair with the wheels. And they're like, maybe squeaking and stuff. And all these people are walking. They're making noise when they're walking, right? Like that. And so, what do you call? It was inevitable that something was going to happen, right? Some sort of noise disturbance is going to happen, that these monsters show up again. And it does happen. And then, and then it's common, right? People are going to start screaming and panicking and running all over the place. And then I like how it dials down a bit. There's this guy, like, we see it in the trailer, the guy that grabs her leg and says, help me. That was so dumb. Like, you survived the initial onslaught. You know not to be loud and, like, make noise. And you're just going to scream, help me. Like, you want me to die with you? The fuck? It looked like maybe she might have broke her foot in that scene, because it gets caught, like, under something in the car. And they have this audible noise that sounds like a bone crack noise. But then she seems to be walking okay, for the most part. She doesn't seem to be in too much pain. Aside from her cancer pain, she doesn't seem to be in too much pain. I was under the impression in this film that she was deaf. She was deaf. It's not, and that's not it. It's she actually has cancer. That's what we learned. She takes these fentanyl patches. I guess they absorb in the skin, and that helps with her treatment. Basically, she's prolonging her death, right? In some sort of way. She's even in hospice. And so I guess, the hospice tells us that it's, what she has, I guess, is terminal, right? It's like we're kind of just delaying the inevitable at this point. I like in the end when she unplugs, because she charges her iPod. She unplugs it, and one of those monsters jumps in the background. So it gives us a hint, like, she said, I want to listen to my music. I walked around, I listened to the city. And, okay, I'm ready to die now. I'm done with suffering. It's, and we see, like, she's truly suffering, I like when they come into the church. They go into the water, and I guess the current, the flow, like, kind of pushes them, kind of propels them. And then the monster thing, it's kind of cool. We actually get to see it, like, choke and die. And they kind of, it seems like it dies, like, pretty instantaneous. Like, they can't hold their breath for too long, I guess. Or, like, that was kind of cool to see. Yeah, those we know that the monsters, they drown in water. They can't swim in water. They drown in water. And then what else I was thinking in my head? With the, yeah, I like when they go into the church, and then we can see there's people there. And I like how the people, like, don't seem to react to them just randomly showing up in their church. It's, you have, like, and then, of course, we know from the Puppeteer show, there's a bunch of people that are just kind of hunkered down in there. And, everybody's just, like, you gotta be quiet. So everybody's just quiet together. And, yeah. You just hunker down and stay quiet somewhere. I like that there's, like, no malice with people in this movie. There's, I was thinking, at the end of the world, maybe we're gonna get some bad actors. But no, we don't run into any bad actors in this film. Any people we do see, they're, like, random background, people in the background. There's the kid and the two kids that she meets, that she helps them. And then there's people going south side. She says, hey, go ahead and go. Follow the crowd there, because they're going to go to the evacuation. It's she doesn't want to go to the evacuation. Like, well, and I guess it makes sense. She knows she's dying. So it's not like, why am I going to go to the evacuation for? I'm already dying. It's not going to help me at all. And so she wants to go to the house, and she does. She gets to her apartment. She gets to see her apartment. And he, she thanks Eric for that. She says, hey, thank you for helping me get home as well. And then she gets to see the two places that her father frequented, and then she would go to her father with. And we know these are fond memories. And then the scene, I referenced it in the very beginning, but it's when she goes back to, like, the bar or whatever, and she has the picture frame. And we see in the picture frame, it's her, it's her and her father together in the picture. And it's really sweet. It's kind of a very touching moment. I can see people crying for this scene, because it's very touching when she picks up, she's looking at the picture. She's even crying in the scene herself. And, it's her little girl, and she's looking at her father smiling. It's a very touchy, that was nice, that sweet little excerpt there. We know that the father also died of cancer. It's when he asked, like, how the, I don't know if he asked or she told him. I think she told him, my father died. My father died the same as me, right? The same way I am, just like me. My father died. I think that's what she said. He died just like me, or just how I am. He died of cancer. It's, and initially she didn't want Eric to follow her, right? But Eric sees the cat. He comes out from the water randomly, like in the station, and he sees the cat there. And I guess the cat, it was comforting him to see the cat. And I think the cat's named Frido. Frido. I think that's what the cat's name. It's a male cat. And there's one scene, that scene with she's getting, with the whole crowd, she's going against the crowd. She gets hit to the ground. The cat runs off. And, how do you call, but it's all good. We know it's all good, because we see the cat's, like, sniffing the air. And we get the sense, the cat's, like, he's looking for her. He's trying to smell her, right? Cause that's how the primary scent, right, scenes for, our furry friends is the scent. They're looking for your scent, and they're trying to follow your scent in particular. And so that's what Fido that's what Fido does, and Fido does find her. And that was also, like, a cute and sort of touchy, when she looks and the cat's there, She calls him over and he comes to her. That was also nice. But I think that by far the touchiest moment in the film, and I want to see what our reviewers have to say about it, was when she goes back to the bar and she's looking at the picture frame. And we're like, it has to be like, something like maybe the father, but it gets even better because not just her father in the picture, it's her and her father together. And, and they're so happy together. So that was really nice. I like that scene. It's, the monsters, they look like, oh my gosh. I saw the movie The Watchers recently, and they kind of look like the Watcher things. They have like really long front arms, and then their back arms are a little shorter. So they're kind of like an ape. I mean, they have like, they're like humans, right? They have the same, but they're not bipedal. They're, I don't even know, I guess quadrupedal. When they walk on the four legs, right? And they do look like hooves, the front ones. But then they also like can like grab and climb shit. So they're like apes, right, in that regard. But then they're like the thing from Stranger Things, when it has like a flower. It looks like a flower, but like these tentacle things, they open up. And they got a mouth, but the mouth also is kind of funny. Their mouths look like kind of like a xenomorph kind of thing, right? I don't know, or like Venom almost. I don't know. They have like a whole mix of stuff. I guess they're naked. They don't wear any clothes. They make noise. They just scream, make noises, but they have some sort of, I guess they have some sort of cognitive intelligence, and they're aliens that came from space. They know not to go in the water. I know that they avoid water. And then they want to, I guess they eat people. I don't know, because there's like a lot of bodies that are like intact. So the question is like, do they eat people? And then there's this scene where Eric, it's another cool thing I like about Eric is that he's from the UK, and we learn he's in the UK when they get to our apartment. But even before then, we can, because with the little bit of talking that he does, it sounds like he has an English accent, right? And then we learn from the after the fact when she asked him, like, hey, is there anybody in the city that you can go to? Like, why are you hanging out with me? And we learned that he can't because, his parents, like he said, my parents are in Kent. My parents are in Kent, and how do you call, in Kent, and he tells her, like, if you know where Kent is, it's in England. It's not a Kent here in the States. It's a Kent, it's an English Kent. It's a Kent in England. I think it's one of the counties in England, if I'm not mistaken. Right on the east, kind of like that eastern peninsula, then the very south, right? But we know like his parents are, that's where his parents are. They're in Kent in England, and so he can't go back to them. And he when he says this to her, he has tears in his eye, because like the realization that maybe I'll never actually see them again. I might never actually go home to my own country again. He was in the United States for law school, we know that, and he said that's what I was supposed to do. I'll come to the States, I do the law school stuff, I graduate, I guess I go back to the UK as a lawyer. But then if he's like studying law, like I wonder how it works, because the English law and American law must be different, right? Unless there's like an English law school, but it's in the United States. I don't know how it would work. I thought that was kind of funny. But maybe he's gonna like just live in the States. I mean, you're already living there already, so I guess I'm American now. I guess I'm got dual citizenship. What's another thing I was thinking about? Oh yeah, the aliens. Yeah, so Eric wanders into like this construction site, and it's like on fire and stuff, because Frido wanders there, and then Frido's like licking, like it looks like they're egg sacs. I think they are egg sacs. And then one of the alien monster things is there, and it's like expecting the eggs, I guess. And then it like comes up to one of these eggs, and it breaks it open, but then it looks like it's like webby inside, like there's nothing inside it. So then it's like, maybe some fertilized the egg, or like maybe it was a food source, and because then it goes ah, and like two other ones show up, and then all three of them, they start eating like the substance inside, presumably this egg thing. And so then you ask the question, well, maybe it's like a food source, because like they don't seem to eat people, they're not like, there's bodies like lying about and stuff, and there's only a few shots where we see dead bodies, because like a lot of times in the street there are like no bodies there, but the few times we do see like corpses, they look intact fairly, like maybe they got some ripping puncture marks, but like the meat on the people's bones, right, it's still there. And so it makes you wonder, like like what's the deal with that? It's did they just kill humans? They just kill humans because reasons? I don't know. Like they're kind of animalistic but then they, I guess, and they don't have eyes, right? And they can't see light because you can shine light in their face, and they don't seem to react to it. So you can shine a light on them, and it's nothing. It's a noise that they, and I guess when they open their flower head thing, that's where, like, when they open their flower head, that's when they can really, like, hear you, I guess. Because there's this part where Eric's, like when he plays Fido, because Fido, like, went up this bar, so he, like, has to climb it up to get Fido. So it's like he's climbing up a tree to get Fido. And the alien monster thing opens, like, its flower, I guess. And it shows a close-up of, like, this, looks like a canal inside, like, within the flower. And so presumably that's, like, its hearing organ, like, its ears, right? The ear canal. And so, you know, that's their primary sense, I guess, right? They can hear. And they need air, right? They need, I guess, presumably they have the breathe oxygen like humans. Because, yeah, when it goes underwater, we see it dies. And we see it like it's dead. It's not alive anymore. It, like, drowned. And they can't go in the water. And then, you know, the government people that have the intercom, they say, like, these monsters, you know, you want to get on a boat because these things can't swim. So if you get on a boat in the water, you pretty much you safe for them. You safe for them. And then even when Eric makes it to the boat, because Samira, I think that was her name, Samira, she sacrifices herself so Eric can get to safety on the boat. You know, the guy from earlier, the fodder from earlier in the theater, that I said I think we're gonna see him again. I had a feeling. I said, well, that's not the last we're gonna see him because he's a well-known actor. This gentleman, he's So I said, we have to see him again. I feel like we're going to see this actor again. We do see him again. And he says to, how do you call, he says to Eric, it's okay. You can calm down. You're safe now. You're safe. You made it. Because these things can't swim. They can't get to you. You're on a boat. They can't get to you. They even had this overhead shot when they first announced this fact in the movie of these boats in the river. It's, I thought that was a cool shot. They had this shot with the boats in the river, and in that shot it was how do you call, you know, there's a bunch of boats congregating, and yeah, it's because these monsters, like, you can, the noise could be running, engine, all that, you can be yelling from the boat, they can't get to you. They don't even dare go into the water. They just stand there and make I guess they're saying they're pissed, right? It's what else are they thinking? A person in the crowd when this movie ended asked the question, well, where are they taking them? I was thinking like a cruise ship in my head, a cargo ship. I guess there's a ship docked somewhere out, you know, and like somewhere, you know, out more towards the open ocean. And I guess that's where you're gonna go to, because like the person, maybe, yeah, I felt they asked a good question. Well, where are they taking them? Okay, so I made it to the boat, but like, what now? I guess you can go. You go to an island, you secure the island around. So maybe like Liberty Island, right? Where I don't even know if it's called Liberty Island. Ellis Island, maybe. An island somewhere. I was thinking maybe Bermuda. Maybe they get on cruise ships, they go to Bermuda. Presumably these pods, because they came from the sky and they crashed down. But presumably they didn't land in, oh my God, what's it called again? They didn't land maybe in Bermuda. They're like smaller islets and inlets and islets, right? Maybe they didn't land there. So if that, theoretically, if it crashes there, if you take the ship and you go there, that Bermuda should be free, right? It's maybe none crashed in Cuba, so now Cuba's a haven, and they can't swim in the water unless they somehow get a boat and go themselves. But I'm not sure how they're cognitive, like, are they smart enough to do that? Well, that's another good question about these monster alien things. I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but yeah, overall, I like this film. I enjoyed it very much. I especially like the touching moment. That was my favorite scene. I like when she goes back and she looks at that picture, and she just has a moment to herself. She has those fond memories come back to her, and it was a beautiful picture. I really liked how the picture was, how they're both there together and they're happy, and you can see her father. She's very happy, and it's like a fond memory of hers when she was a young child. Because you can see she was a very young girl in that picture. That was like the best scene. And then her note to Eric about, hey, you know, you gotta take care of my cat, okay? And don't rub his belly because he doesn't like that. And don't feed him too much because he'll get fat. It had like a nice rhyme to it. That was also nice. And she, you know, she gives him the jacket when she does that. And the note's there. She doesn't tell him. It's for him to find out later. That was very touching as well. It's yeah, A Quiet Place, the prequel movie, gets 5 stars for me. I enjoyed it very much. I don't think I'll care to see the other two though. Thank you for listening.